All right. Hey guys, this is my 1966 Ford Mustang with a Straight 6 200. This is the Weber 3236 carburetor. I just installed it about a week ago, maybe a little longer, but I know there's like only one video of this, actually, a guy on there, and it's kind of a smaller video and probably a while back before had any really good pictures. Probably should have videoed my process, but you'll kind of see my setup. Basically, the old heater core used to go kind of from here, and it would go under the carburetor and then back into the firewall into the heater box. So because you have to eliminate that, you basically have to be one solid tube, and so basically you have to take your heater box out. YouTube did a video on that. There's a guy who does a couple great videos on as far as taking that heater box out and then just making one solid hose that comes out on both of those. And so that was a pretty easy setup once you just get the box out. It's not too bad to get it out. Just a little patience. Be careful not to break any of your little grommets and things. And then basically just was putting the carburetor on. If you could see here, it's got that spacer that it comes with. It's got a spacer here, and then basically there's a thing inside of here that allows an adapter that goes to the bottom of this carburetor. So that all kind of went on really nicely, really easily. And then you've got 4 bolts like here, back here, and then one over here, and one back there. So 4 bolts, and it bolts right on. This is also an adapter that came with the kit that I bought. And so getting the carburetor on there was pretty simple. And then of course, with this one having an electric choke, you need a fuse relay switch, which actually I put down here underneath. You can see it underneath here, which is down here below my solenoid. Basically, I ran the constant off the battery down to my solenoid, and then basically this key, this one, the key is always on. When the key is on, this turns this on, which then goes down to my relay and then goes up to my electric choke. So basically, when I turn the key on, it turns that electric choke on. Basically, this particular carburetor had this port here, which is basically, I capped it off because I don't need it. Then I have the main one coming in from this angle here, this back one, and then goes to my regulator. So my regulator looks like this. If you knew the one video that is on YouTube, his regulator does not look like this at all. And his setup's a little different. So basically, I have the old style fuel pump down here. Actually, it says the fuel pump inset there goes from there up to my regulator. It has an in port here, and then it has one out port. And so this particular model has a has the ability, if you were running 2 carburetors, and so it would have 2 ports. And so basically, I capped off one port here, and then basically have the insert going in here. And so basically I've got a plug here, and then this down here regulates how much you actually give the carburetor, and then this one goes out to my carburetor here. So that's pretty much my setup. As I said, basically my hose is coming out of my heater core, came out of my heater core, and then just go into my water pump here, just like normal. It's just a 1 piece instead of the 2, because the old carburetor had like a pass-through deal, which I think I have over here. I can show you. See, this was the pass-through that's under the old original carburetor. I'm not sure why they did that, but it would pass through and go to the heater core. And so because you're eliminating this, you got to go to a 1 piece instead of 2. And of course mine just doesn't have air conditioning or anything, and so it's just a simple basic hookup. Some things that if you don't listen or watch any of the other videos, one major thing is basically when you take your heater box out, I would suggest that you actually take that motor apart that you see back there. Just take it out of its housing and then basically just find you a battery and test it and make sure that it's working, that it's good and powerful, because you would hate to take that out and put it back in and realize it doesn't work. So that's pretty much my setup. I think the only other thing that I'm looking probably would help me also is that I don't have a filter coming in. I have one coming in from the gas tank, which is there, but I don't have another one going out into my carburetor. So, you know, for just double safety, that's probably something that I'm going to add later. So far, I've had no issues. Basically, when I installed this particular carburetor, man, I kicked it over the first time and it just ran. Basically, I've had a couple cold mornings here in Southwest Missouri, and it's done great. You know, come out and it wants to fire right up. So this is a great setup. The only other issue is basically on the video that I'll have to try to help you guys. This linkage right here is something that I bought, and it's something that you're going to want because it helps the linkage tremendously. So it comes off my old pedal there. That's my gas pedal where it's hooked up. And then it goes up and it's hooked all to this. I had to do a little bending on that right there. Kind of pull it back away from an exhaust manifold because it wants to rub up against that and kind of bind a little bit. And so basically I just kind of did some brute strength and kind of just bent it back a little bit. And so it's kind of staying off of that. And so it has a pretty good travel. It's still a little stiff, but you can see it works pretty good. And I also had to replace this spring. Actually, I didn't replace it. I did an old trick. One of the mechanics here in my town told me it was kind of worn and just shortened that particular spring. I cut it off at a point and then made a little loop on it. And but that stiffened it right up and has a good return on it. That's just a major thing. You want to make sure that once you press down on that pedal, which I had my wife do, that it springs back on you. So that's a major plus to have that spring back on you. So, as I said, I think that's about it. If I'm not forgetting anything, as I said, got a choke, everything else. So, pretty happy with the setup. It said she runs pretty smooth down the road. If this is something you're looking at, I would highly recommend it. So, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, just kind of post them down below. I'll try to answer them. Thanks.